Hey YouTube, this video is a request from somebody and it's how to install OS X Mountain Lion with an Asus GTX. I'll just bring this up. Well, I don't know if it's for an Asus, but you can see, you might not be able to see it there, but it's a GTX Asus 550 Ti. I'm not going to move the camera because I've got it all set up behind me, but it is an Asus, I won't lie to you. An Asus GTX 550 Ti. Now I'm online at the minute, running absolutely sweet, but I've just managed to get hold of a power management text, which a few people had told me how to do it for Lion, and when I edited it I couldn't seem to get it to work right, and it didn't work right. Anyway, I've downloaded one that seems to work absolutely great. It's when I open stuff, it don't stick, it runs OpenCL great. There's no, when I used to click that before, you can probably see that now, for a couple of seconds I used to get a little lag. It opened up and started working straight away, but it'd go like, instead of doing 220 frames, it'd start off at like 30 frames for about 1, 2, and then on 3 it'd just go boom and just jump up. But that was on a MacBook Pro 3.1 system definition. Well, I know we're online, so without further ado, I've already made the memory stick with UniBeast. I'm not going to show you how to do that because you should know how to do that. It's very easy to do. There's no special on it, it's just UniBeast, Mountain Lion. I said make me a bootable USB stick. I haven't added any kecks into it, modified any lines or nothing. This is a Z77 DS3H motherboard. So I'll just turn off my Mac, I'll just shut it down. I'm going to lose my installation now, and I'm going to do this live on the fly apart from the actual installation itself. So it's gone black, put the memory stick in, I know you know how to do that, and I'm going to show you. I'll just boot from it first of all. By the way, you'll see how quick a UEFI BIOS is here. Watch when the screen comes up, press F12 and we're already at the boot stick. So we're going to boot from the SanDisk, bang, and that's already booted. See how quick that was. Right, okay, so obviously I want to boot from the memory stick. Now I'm going to show you what happens to me if I just boot from the memory stick. I've not done anything, I've just booted from the SanDisk memory stick. Now I'm actually using a UEFI BIOS. I don't know if it'll make a difference if you're using a legacy, but you'll see in a minute. What should happen in a minute is before the installer comes on, the screen should go off and go black. Well, it will go off and go black. And by the way, I'm only doing this installation because I'm pretty interested in trying this new text. There, it's gone black now. Now usually it'd come back on. Now it should just go off. Yeah, it's gone. Now what's going to happen now is I'll just turn the computer on and off while I'm talking. I'm going to do it again, but this time with a different command. What's happened there is it actually was there. The install screen was actually there, but you just couldn't see it because the screen had turned off. Now I do know in MultiBeast 5 I think they're going to sort this out so that it auto detects your card and puts the command in for you so this doesn't happen. But for now, on my card, Asus GTX 550 Ti, I've got to boot from my, I haven't found my USB stick. I'm sorry about Big God downstairs, but we have got 2 twins, so you'll have to put up with that. And she's looking after them, so I'll just boot again. It didn't find my memory stick. My computer does that. I ain't got a clue why. Every computer I've ever had has done it. Press F12. Let's just, oh, it's back. So this time, the only difference I'm going to do this time is I'm still selected on my memory stick there on the left. That's my memory stick. I'm going to put the caps lock on and type PCIR, take caps lock off, OOT, caps lock back on, UID equals 0. And just check that out. I'm going to press enter this time. And hopefully this time we'll reach the install screen. Now I've got the built-in HD 3000 graphics, and I've got to give my opinion on it. People are saying take your graphics card out and then install and put it back in, but I'll tell you now, that does absolutely jack all. All that does is it's for people who don't know what command to type to get it to work. All it does is, when you put your GTX 550 Ti in at the end, see it's on now, look, this is the bit what I didn't get a minute ago, look, and we're at the installer. I'm going to install as well as talk, so yeah, all that does is, so when you put your GTX 550 Ti in, once you've got your mountain lion installed, it'll just install the exact same bloody kex as it installs as having it in from now. So it ain't going to make your system run any more stable. That's bullshit. All it's going to do is, it's for people who can't get to this screen. So they're using their own board so that they can actually install and then get to this screen. Anyway, without further ado, I'm just going to fly to utilities, disk utility. I'll select my, I'll delete my lion. You should be thanking me because I'm deleting my lion here for you. Partition, current, one partition. Check the options and check it's on GUID partition table. Give it a name, we'll call it mlion. And Mac OS X journaled, and I'll hit apply. Partition. This is an SSD, so it's like rapid wildfire. Close it down. Continue, which is not obvious anyway. Click on your mountain lion, and job's good. That'll now install. Once it restarts, I'm going to go back with you in a minute anyway, but once it restarts, I'll have to boot from the memory stick and type PCI root UID equals 0 again. And then I'll install multi-beast, and then I don't have to do that anymore. Right, here we are again on the restart. I'm going to boot from the memory stick again now. SanDisk. Now I need to move across to my mlion installation this time and type PCIR with caps on, OOT with caps off, UID equals 0 with caps on, and press the button. And now that should boot, and I should get the rest of the screen to come back on. Sometimes you can type /x/v, and that might help you. There's a command if this one didn't work, but I can't see why it wouldn't work with an Asus or a 550 Ti card. Now again, that would have stayed off if I hadn't typed the PCI root UID equals 0 command. But it's come back on now, so we're okay. So, can hear my baby's crying. I think it's come back on. Go mouse. Right everyone, that stayed grey screen and did nothing, so I'm just restarting the computer again now. I'm going to boot again, but this time I'm going to /x/v, so I'm going to /x space /v, and we're going to try it like that instead. I'm sure it just booted before. I could be wrong. I haven't done it for a while. So it's good that actually happened, because it might happen to you. I'm sure sometimes it actually does come on. I do know once I've installed multi-beast in a minute and that it works sweet then, apart from the graphics glitches. Now this obviously takes a lot longer because it's loading up in safe mode with the default drivers. My speed step's not working. And hopefully this time we should reach a little bit further. This hasn't happened to me before, but again I'm glad it has. So on the fly, It's weird this, isn't it? I've installed Mountain Lion 10 times and that's never happened to me once and my hardware hasn't changed. But I'm going to leave it and I'm not going to edit it out because it's good for people to see what's happening. So I'm going to boot from it again. And I'm going to go back and just type PCIR OOT caps UID equals. I'm just going to try this again. Just give it another go. Just in case it was a little glitch. Because I'm 98% sure that's all I did. But the /x/re as well, that is another command anyway that you've seen work. Right, that ain't coming on, so it's still going. Right, I tell you what, I'm actually thinking about it. I've actually installed this 98% of the time on a SATA drive, but on the SATA 2 port, not an SSD. And I'd read that somebody else said when they tried with the SSD, they couldn't get it to work, but they got it to work on a normal hard drive. I've been using my son's 500GB old SATA drive, but it's only a SATA 2. This is now on the SATA 3 port. Now I know I can probably swap the port, but I'm going to try and get it going without, and that's why I'm having this error. It should have just worked with PCI root UID equals 0 all the time. But I think it's because I'm on the 6GB port. But let's try this. I'm going to go caps lock again, PCIR, caps lock off, OOT, caps lock on, UID equals 0, and then I'm going to do /x. I don't know if that's a command and it'll work. It hasn't, I don't think. Oh yeah, it has. I could have done it. You can as well press your space bar and do a /v if you want. So it'd be PCI root UID equals 0 space minus x space minus a v, and you'd see all that text. But I'm just going to see if this is going to give us a script. Hey! Welcome. There you go. I've just worked that out myself and I've never done it before because on a normal drive on the SATA 2 port it doesn't happen. So hopefully this is what you guys are probably missing out on, and the same as me. So it's PCI root UID equals 0 and then a space with a /x. I won't need to do that in a minute once I've installed multi-beast. I don't have to do any of that. And we're on. Let me just fly through this. Go on, get away. I'm not keeping it anyway. Yeah, continue. Sorry, I'm leaving it on the fly and I'm not going to turn it off. Why should I? I could be lying if I do that. Claire, we'll use our lass's name for the password for something to do. Runt as the oops. Hang on. We want Leeds, United Kingdom. Skip. Sorry about the kids screaming down the stairs, you have to put up with it. And as you can see, this is on now. And that is the first time that that's happened to me. And I had to work it out myself, but I'm not going to edit the video from all the attempts that I had. But I will tell you now that I was making this video knowing what to do, but I've never done it with the SSD. I've always done it with the other hard drive from my son's computer on the SATA 2 port, and I didn't have to do what I just had to do then. So as you can see, we're installed. I'll just press I'll just go about this Mac. Graphics cards on. Trim support's disabled, internet's on. Right, okay, so let's just carry on and finish the installation. Just I'm just going to set a couple of preferences here. Yeah, you can actually see that it's not, because I've booted it up in /X, it's not found my other hard drive. I have 2 hard drives. I have a dump drive with my multi-beast on and stuff, and that's actually a bit of a problem, because I don't know if I've got it on a USB stick. Let's just try. I hope I've got multi-beast on a USB stick. And because, I'm glad this has happened as well, because I booted up in safe mode, it hasn't found my other hard drive, and it's not gonna, my USB stick's not showing. I'll just try another part. Sweet. So, let's put my other USB stick back in. It's working with the Mountain Lion USB stick. So, a little tip for you if you've got this board. Put yourself your multi-beast and any files you need on the memory stick as well, because if you have to do it this way, it won't boot. But what I'm going to try now it's actually installed, I'm going to try restarting without booting into safe mode and see if it'll work. I'll still have to put PCI root UID equals 0, but let's just see if it's going to work for me. I'm glad all these little errors happen, because it'll help you guys that are struggling. We'll boot from the SanDisk again now, and we'll try PCI ROOT caps UID equals 0. Just check that out. PCI, nope, that's wrong. Root caps UID equals 0. I'm hoping that this is going to come on this time. Might tell me to bugger off again. If it does, I'm going to have to just pause the video, go into my son's bedroom, turn on his computer and download multi-beast and put it on the actual Lion memory stick, because it won't see me other memory stick or a disc. So that's quite handy for you guys to have that. Come on. Ah, great. We've got to the day. Isn't that strange? It's come to the, now Lion's installed. I haven't installed multi-beast or anything. It's actually come to the desktop this time. So again, another good tip for you guys. Right, sorry about the screaming babies. You're going to have to keep listening to them if they're crying, because I need to finish this installation off. So, and I need to be quick to go look after them, because they are on their own downstairs, and they're putting their fingers in fire and stuff. No, I'm just playing. No, our lass is down there getting stressed. So anyway, we've got multi-beast open, and now I'm going to talk you through these settings. I'm going to select use a DSDT, yeah, even though the Z77 DSDH doesn't need a DSDT file. As you can see on my desktop, I've not got one. In fact, let me make this window a lot bigger. We'll make it massive. Right, you see that jerkiness then on that screen when I went like that? It's a bit better second time, but it just hesitated for that second. That's to do with your graphics power management kits. And in Lion, you need to, I'll do another video on it, but that's what used to happen to me. Even though everything ran okay, you were a little bit jerky like that, and it's because of the graphics power management hesitating in turning your stat up on your card. But anyway, so we've got user DSDT installed. I'm going to install system utilities. That's to repair the permissions. Drivers and bootloaders, I'm going to go to, I can't tell you how to install the audio on this board, because I've got an external sound card for Logic. So I'm not going to, the only thing I'm going to install from the disk is the trim enabler, because trim's disabled at the moment. That's it from disk. Graphics, nothing, because obviously it's the 550 Ti. Under fake SMC, you can install your motherboard plugins if you want, and I am going to do that later, but I'm just going to keep it the basic install. Network wants to be Mojo's internet, which is the bottom one, and that'll give me my internet working. And to be fair, that's it for this motherboard. I only need to put my internet driver in, and that's it. But my multiplier will be locked on my CPU as well. So I'm going to go to bootloaders and install Chimera. Customization, boot options, you need to go to SSDT, and I'm going to select i5 i5/i7 overclocked. You need to either select that one or i5 or i7, depending on which processor you're using. Otherwise, you'll end up with a shit Geekbench benchmark, because what it does is it locks your multiplier on your CPU. So you need to unlock your multiplier on your CPU. Now, I usually restart here, and the computer will come back on its own, no worries. But that's with a MacBook Pro 3.1 definition. Now I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to change the system definition to an iMac 12.1, because I'm not going to show you guys just yet, because there's no point. I'm going to, once this video's finished, I'm going to install a Kext, which is going to give me a good power management for my graphics card, and it might actually fix the errors that we've all been getting. I don't think it will, but it did make a huge difference in line and made my card run like buttery smooth. So that's it basically. And your audio, you might just have to look. There's plenty of people out there telling you what to click for your audio. I don't know, but with just them couple of basic settings there, and I'm gonna just okay, put my password in. I'll just minimise that down. Yeah, and then this is going to give me the iMac 12.1 system definition, and then like I say, I'm going to edit the Apple Graphics Power Management.txt with the one I've got on a memory stick and see if it fixes anything. It might not, but somebody's asked on a forum for somebody to do it on Tony Mac's forum, so I'm going to be the guy that does it. And while I was doing it, I thought I'd do this video as well, as I've had a request for it. And to be honest, I'm glad that all the little glitches have happened. That's great, because if they hadn't have happened, and they might happen to you, and then you wouldn't know what to do, at least you've seen me work out how to get my system to boot. I haven't had to remove the graphics card out of the slot, and I'm sure anybody that does theirs, they just don't know what they're doing, and that's why they're having to move the card. So if I just now hit close, I'm going to pull, the memory stick's already gone. Let's do a restart. I will show you a little tip what you can do when it's restarted. I should have done it then, to it always boots up in verbose mode, but I'll manually override it. So this time now, you'll see how quick UEFI BIOS is now, by the way. Look at it, it's already loading. I'm just going to interrupt it and put /V in, so I can see what's going on. Everything's looking great. I have got sound acetation on the Apple HDA codec. If anybody knows what that is, there's loads of them here. Sound acetation. Is it the HDMI port on the graphics card? I don't know. Is that causing the glitch on the 550 Ti? Sound acetation in the Apple, I did say it just then, can't remember. But you can see the computer's on now, and if I just go to About This Mac, more info, system, you can see it's an iMac 12.1. If I go to network, I've got my internet, serial ATA. I don't know if you can see it, but my trim support is enabled, it's there. Trim support equals yes. So it's there now, and I'm in 64-bit mode. Right, so everything's fine. I do want to try something, and I'll leave the video going while I do. I'm going to type console. This is actually not to do with installing Mountain Lion, but I just want to try something. I want to just make this bigger. I'm just going to type AGPM. Right. Good. You see, it's not. I've got an Apple Graphics Power Management controller, but it's not working right yet. So I'm going to go and edit this now and put my device ID in and stuff. It will be on another... In fact, I have done a video on my YouTube, if you look recently, on how to edit it and sort it out. But I'm going to edit this Kext and see if I can get the glitches fixed. Anyway, I'm sure that I've covered everything on how to install Mountain Lion with an Asus GTX 550 Ti, including all the errors, which I didn't know I was going to get myself. Bearing in mind, if you're using an SSD, you've just seen that without, if I'd put that SSD on the SATA 2 port, I would have been able to do all that with PCI UID equals 0. I wouldn't have had to do anything else, and it would have come on, I'll tell you now. It's because I was on the 6 gigabit port that I had to put PCI root equals 0 and then a space and a /x. But that's a good thing for you guys, because if it happens to you, you'd think, well, it's happening to me and it didn't happen to you. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm prepared to try anything out to get Mountain Lion to run smooth, and I'm Beastie Boy in Tony Mac's forum at the minute, and I'm working with the guys on there to try get a fix for this GTX 550 Ti. And this little edit that I'm going to do should take me 5 minutes, so I should have a couple of updates in the next few hours. See if I'll put my screensaver on and that, see if we can get it to crash. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe to my channel. And it's actually a photography channel, so anybody coming from the Mac forum, if you're a photographer, look through some of my videos and you'll get some great videos there as well. Thanks for watching.